Hey everyone, it's DIzE here and welcome back to a new video. So a new skateboarding game has been released called Skater XL, and it was announced a few weeks ago and has now released on Steam for 16 euros. So on release day I made a little first impression stream and I really enjoyed it. So many people compare this game to Session, so I thought I'd make a video comparing both games. And before starting the video I want to point out that Session is in a much earlier version than Skater XL. So I will try to not show which is the better game right now, but more like what are the differences between Skater XL and Session and what potential each game has, because both games have many similarities but also key differences. At the end of the video I will also have a little conclusion with some final thoughts, so without further ado let's go into the actual comparison. So on Skater XL you can press X on PS4 or A on Xbox to do these tiny pushes, and if you keep holding the button you continuously push, which works pretty good in my opinion. I quite like this. Now in Session you can press both A or X to push, so you can do a normal push or a Mongo push, and as you can see you can do these tiny pushes, or you can keep holding the button to continuously push, or you can even tap the button very quickly so you push very fast, which is a pretty nice idea in my opinion. So in Skater XL you turn by using your triggers, and this works pretty good in my opinion. You can actually do some very tight turns, which is always a good thing. Many people might not like the idea of using your triggers to turn. For those there's also the second option to use your sticks, so you can use either your right or left stick to turn, which also works just fine. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good addition. In Session you also use the triggers to turn, which actually works quite okay. As of right now you don't have the option to use a stick, but that might change in the future. The only thing I don't like in Session right now is that the turning radius is very big, but that still might change in the future. In Skater XL you can change your stance by simply pressing select right now, and it also has the addition that you can change the camera from the back to the front, which is a very nice idea in my opinion. In Session you can, as of right now, not change your stance, you still have to do a 180, so your skater will always try to keep himself in that stance, which can result in some weird glitches, but that's not really a point I would critique, since that will surely change in the future. In Skater XL your left stick works as your left foot and your right stick works as your right foot, so if you want to do an ollie you simply press down on the left stick. If you want to do an high ollie you have to press down on both sticks. In Session it works the same way, your left stick is your left foot, your right stick is your right foot, but with the difference that for an ollie you have to push down on the left stick and then up on the right stick. If you want to do an high ollie you simply hold the buttons longer and then do the motion. If you want to do 180s in Skater XL you simply use the triggers. This works pretty fine, and if you time it correctly you can even do a 360, which is a bit sketchy, but you can also use your sticks to turn like a little bit, as you can see, and if you use this in combination with the triggers you can actually land some very clean 360s. In Session it works the same way, you also use your triggers for doing 180s, with the difference that you turn a lot faster than in Skater XL. As you can see, you can also use your sticks to turn a little bit, so you can land some very clean 360s in this game. Doing manuals in session is actually quite intuitive. You just put your left stick down halfway for a normal manual and your right stick up halfway for a nose manual. In session it works exactly the same. Your left stick for a normal manual and your right stick for a nose manual. You can also still turn just like you would ride normally, so it works pretty good in both games. If you want to do a grind or a slide in session, you have to be very precise with that. As you can see here, I did two 50-50s, but they looked totally different because I landed on a different part of my truck. Now if I do a tail slide like this, you can see I actually land on my tail, but I still have to shift my weight onto my back foot so I can do a clean tail slide. With this addition you can actually do some custom tricks like this shifted tail slide, which looks pretty good. Doing grinds in session works quite different because your skater won't do a grind unless you put your right stick up and your left stick down for a 50-50 like this. And once you are in a 50-50, you can pretty much let go of all sticks and controls and he will keep himself in that grind until it ends. Also, as of right now, the grind will always look the same. Because you have so much control over your board, you can actually go from a 5-0 into a tail slide in Skater XL, which at the moment isn't possible in session, but I'm pretty sure they will add that in the future. Skater XL came up with the idea of using your triggers to decide on which side of the rail you want to pop out. In session that's not possible at the moment. You keep popping out on the same side no matter what you do. In Skater XL you can actually do wheelies that can look very nice, but on the other hand you can't do grabs like you can do in session right now. In session you can also do power slides to each side as well as rewards. In session you can also already go off your board, which isn't possible in Skater XL at the moment, so it's kinda like Skate 1 where you have to ollie upstairs. And I want to point out one more time that this isn't to show which game is better at the moment, because I don't think that you can compare them in that way. It's just to show what differences both games have at the moment. Skater XL also introduced this way to front foot or back foot catch your board, so you can have some very nice style on your tricks. Also, both games have a free flip mode, which means that you can either move your sticks very slow and do a very slow 360 flip, or move them very fast and do something like a 720 flip. However, in session it seems to be a lot harder to land these tricks. In conclusion, I would say that I really enjoy both games. I still think that you can't really compare them at the moment in terms of which is the better game. For that we still have to wait until we have the finished version of each game. Because as of right now, Session is in a much earlier state than Skater XL, and if we had Skater XL in a much earlier version, it probably wouldn't be as good as it is right now. So yeah, only time can tell which is the better game, but I also wanted to have like a second view, so I asked Nightspeeds for his view on the whole Skater XL session topic. So yeah.
I think it is interesting how both these games have certain similarities. For example, the dual stick controls. We have right stick as your right foot and left stick as your left foot. But in Skater XL it seems a little more casual, a little more inviting to maybe the average gamer, because you can do shove-its and ollies with one stick if you want to. And you can steer left and right using any stick you want. You're not bound to the triggers here. You are if you want to do spins in the air, but I think this way of controlling is a little more inviting to people, whereas Session might have been a little scary. There's no other option than to control with the triggers, and I think that puts some people off that don't want to put in that half hour it takes to get used to. But I do want to say that comparing an early access game is unfair to what Session has showed us, because what Session has showed us is just tech demos. It's prototypes of certain gameplay mechanics or features. It's really far from early access. Once Session releases early access in like half a year or so, then I think it's fair to compare that to what Skater XL dropped first. But for right now, it's too early to compare them because Session are a little bit behind. Skater XL has been in development longer, and Session also scrapped their like first build of the game because they started on the Unity engine like Skater XL, but they moved over to Unreal, which I think is an advantage when it comes to graphics and making stuff look realistic, but we'll just have to wait and see how these two games evolve, and as a huge skate fan myself, I'll be back in both of them.
Okay, I think that's it for this video. Now I want to know, what are your thoughts about this whole Skater XL or Session topic, and what are your thoughts on Skater XL in general? I for myself really love this game. I recommend everyone to buy it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Skater XL content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!